Suddenly, a zombie epidemic breaks out in Philadelphia, and then spreads like a wildfire across the world. Jerry Lane and his family manage to get a safe home from the US government, because the man, a former United Nations investigator, accepts the task of researching the origin of this deadly virus and finding a possible cure to stem the pandemic. But to succeed in developing a vaccine that is effective against zombies, Jerry will not only have to travel around the world, but he will have to put his own life on the line. World War Z is a 2013 horror film directed by Marc Forster and produced by Brad Pitt. The film is an adaptation of the horror and fantasy novel World War Z and Oral History of the Zombie War by Max Brooks, who also contributed to the screenplay. Despite its enormous success with the public, the film had several problems in its production phase. In fact, Forster, who at the time had no experience with special effects, was unable to bring along his team, with which he had created a very strong understanding. In their place, freelancers were hired. This led to an environment of a fierce competition, causing a slowdown in the production of the movie. This uncertainty in staff hiring also spilled over to the script, which was written by 4 different screenwriters. The problems were so big that they even changed the screenplay after filming began, wasting some scenes already shot and increasing costs by millions of dollars. That said, World War Z flows smoothly, managing to involve the viewer through chases full of adrenaline and terror. The horror component is missing. The zombies, that in the collective imagination are symbols of anxiety and social fears associated with an obvious body slowness, here are very fast. Their motion is highly spectacular, and their invasion of the world's metropolises creates an effect never seen before, making many chills run down the spectator's spine. World War Z plays well with the moments of anticipation and preparation, characterized by a tension that grows along with the screams of the incoming zombie swarm. With an uneven but vigorous pace, the swarm covers long distances in seconds, surrounding the survivors in a flash. The fantasy political subtext that has characterized all great zombie movies is set aside to make a fun popcorn flick aimed at a wider audience rather than a narrow circle of fans. However, the problems of a weak script, which has been rewritten several times, emerge throughout the movie. In Marc Forster's head, the plot should have been much more realistic. Differently, in the final product, Jerry Lane abandons his family without batting an eyelid, after the first scenes have sickeningly shown us how strong their bond is. This dramatic episode, that should have moved and shaken, leads the viewer not to cheer all the way for the protagonist. In addition, Jerry's wife, who in the intentions of the producers should have played an important role in supporting her husband, disappears after a few scenes. If treated differently, she could have become a strong female character, a mother capable of protecting her daughters while their father is traveling to save the world.
Mommy, is this dinner?
Yes, sweetheart.
Why does your taste funny?
It's jet fuel, young lady.
Just joking.
I wish. Diesel has trouble filtering it out. Probably because there's too many people on this ship.
Actually, all the other characters appear very little on the screen too, failing to impress a turn on the events or to impose themselves in a positive way next to the main hero. A successful element is represented by special effects. In fact, the union between CGI and traditional effects turns out to be convincing and allows the spectator to fully enjoy the evocative images of devastation filmed from the helicopter. The sequel of the film, which will be directed by David Fincher, is having some obstacles, this time not of organizational nature, but related to budget and commercial matters. For example, it seems that the production hesitates to finally start the realization of the film because the zombie movies have been banned in China, and they fear that without such a huge market, the film might have a lot less success. In addition, persuading Fincher to direct World War Z 2 has not been easy. In fact, after the failure of Alien 3, the director has always been cautious about making a sequel to another franchise, but convinced by his friend Brad Pitt and a solid script, he will try to top the movie that has been the highest grossing zombie film of all time. And you? Have you ever watched the World War Z? Are you willing to watch its sequel? Let us know in the comments what you think. Do you have any suggestions for other movies to share? If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with the releases of our next videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Ciao a tutti.